In terms of the Brexit story, what should we watch for on the timeline? Because we have this deadline at the end of June, but the UK government has said many times it won't extend. In which case, where are the pinch points going to be? Is this really going to go to New Year's Eve 2020?
Yeah. So first of all, I think you're absolutely right. I think the ability for Europe to come up with various rescue packages is easier without the involvement of the UK. I think that's just a fact, and probably what a lot of people underappreciate is the ability for the EU to come together in times of crisis. And ultimately, it is a political agenda rather than a purely economic one that determines its success and how it moves forward. In terms of Brexit, I think people should be very concerned. And the reason I say that is in the midst of what I think most people recognise, but maybe not all market participants, is probably one of the worst recessions in modern history, where you're seeing GDP fall in double-digit figures. If you're a hardcore Brexiteer, you've got a perfect distraction to get your hard Brexit through. And not only that, what's another couple of percent off GDP given the crisis that we're actually seeing? So I think the risks of a no-deal Brexit are probably higher now than they have been at any point in this process.
Yeah, we heard that. We heard this as well from another Peter yesterday. Ambassador Westmacott was telling us that similarly that British motivations to get a hard Brexit through now, at least those who are for that, they're ready to double down because of the coronavirus pandemic. What about the EU side, Peter? Do you think there's any reason for the EU side to really press for a deal? I mean, they've got their own coronavirus concerns, and it just seems less like it might be less important to keep the UK as a fantastic trading partner right now.
Yeah, I think most rational individuals would like to see a relatively smooth process here, and one where there are minimal restrictions in place post the end of this year. But I think one has to be prepared for a very negative outcome here, and I believe that markets are probably pricing in quite an optimistic scenario. At the end of the day, both sides probably have to compromise on a number of issues. I think that's probably still a central case, but only very marginally so today. And you're absolutely right. I mean, the European Union has got 4 freedoms. The freedom to move to people, capital, goods and services. That's integral to the European Union. And they're not going to compromise overly on those points to accommodate the United Kingdom.